For songs of loudest praise, teach me some.
I think that's one of the most important things, is to surround yourself with godly people who will encourage you and support you, and just walk with you through whatever experiences you're going through. I think at the same time, it's also an issue of self-control and just of will, because God does give us the freedom to do, what we want to do, and a lot of times we do that, but it's also understanding that you as a Christian are called to be a light in this world.
And I hope by thy good pleasure safely to arrive.
During college, I think it's always a struggle to spend time with God amongst doing homework, and you always want to be active and have fun and do things, but to spend quiet time with Him.
And I wasn't prepared for that, and kind of being exposed to classes that, the philosophy of religion, where we talk about the proofs for God, or the problem of sin, or even the problem of evil, and addressing those things head on. It gives you doubts and about your faith, and that was a good thing for me. I'm glad that I had that, and that God put that in my life to search deeper. I think someone like me, graduating from a Christian high school, has every reason to be stagnant in their faith, because they think they know everything, and I thought I knew everything. But going deeper, being at Moody Church, and also being at Loyola, brought up a lot of issues for me that I had to confront.
I think while we're young, it's easy to have a lot of passion and want purpose. I think the first thing is to know what you're passionate in and what your purpose is. So to know why you're passionate about what you are. Because I think ultimately we want it to be for Christ. We want to be most passionate about Christ and for the gospel and for proclaiming of His gospel. But I don't think that's all you need to be passionate about. I think you want to find out what gifts and talents you have and have been given to you by God.
Some upperclassmen who, coming in, I'm like, oh, Christians can't act like that, blah, 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 on my floor, and yet they would, there was one instance where we were sitting around in the lounge talking. He's like, if you think you're better than anyone here, God can't even use you, because we're all beggars before God, and all we have is the gospel. And I was sitting there thinking, I do think I'm better than that guy, but I think he's right.
And I remember one night I was sitting in our little coffee shop called the Humble Bean, doing my homework, and I was walking back to my dorm, and I was like, you know what, God, I haven't spent any quiet time with you, and I just need to pray. We have this little fire pit in the back of our college where no one was. So I went back there just to pray and be like, Lord, I really just need to start spending time with you. And after I prayed for a while, I opened my eyes and I saw a shooting star pass by, and I knew that was God's way of saying, yes, I love you and thank you for coming to me. And that's happened to me actually 4 times since that time. So I was home one day in Florida, and all of a sudden I was praying to God. I was like, oh, I miss that. And all of a sudden a shooting star went by. I was like, ah!
My sin, nothing but the blood of Jesus. What can make me?
Entering into your college career, cling to Jesus. You're going to face situations in college that will shake you, that will rock you. You will start thinking differently about different things than you had never heard before, and things, if you're a Christian, will sound incredibly appealing, incredibly hard to argue with from a Christian perspective. Your faith will be challenged. It just will be. Remember whom you have believed. Remember the gospel. You will inevitably go to college, and no matter how wisely you frame your friends and your situations, you'll fall into stuff. And just as always in the Christian life, it's one of repentance and coming back to the cross and remembering why you are right with God is because of Jesus. And whether that's a Christian campus or not, either a Christian campus to keep you from legalism and pride, remembering the cross, or from living on a secular campus, probably making some mistakes that aren't as available to a Christian college or whatever, and needing the gospel the same way. Remember Christ and remember what He has done, and that being joined to Him means you're right with God, and you can't mess that up.